The number one reason why you're dealing with symptoms as you're approaching menopause or in menopause, and it's not what you think. And if you stay to the end of this video, I'm going to tell you some things that you can do to start to get rid of those symptoms. Now, the reason why you're having these symptoms is because your body is going through a huge change to where the ovaries are shutting down, and it's going to reduce the amount of both progesterone and estrogens that they are producing. And now you're more dependent on converting your stress hormones into those sex hormones. So let's talk about those stress hormones. Your adrenal glands are your stress glands that sit up on top of your kidneys. They secrete cortisol and DHEA. Now, cortisol is more in response to stress. Now, most of you ladies, you have a lot on your plate. You've got kids, you've got husbands, you've got family, you got the house to keep up, you've got jobs, but you've got all these things, and you have for years. And so most women that come to me that are having these symptoms, premenopausal and during menopause, the adrenal function is definitely an issue. And what we typically see is your cortisol is going to be high and your DHEA is going to be low. Now, the importance of that is DHEA helps to support your sex hormones. But let's first talk about progesterone. If you go to the doctor because you're not sleeping well, you're having mood swings, you're gaining weight, you're having these symptoms, and progesterone is low, well, they're just going to give you progesterone. But one important thing we need to understand is progesterone is not an end-stage hormone, meaning that progesterone converts down into cortisol. And so if you're in a high state of stress and you have a high demand of cortisol production and you take progesterone, it's just going to feed that conversion down into cortisol. Now, looking at the other side of the hormone pathways, testosterone and your estrogens. Now, DHEA is also secreted by those adrenal glands. DHEA directly converts into your testosterone. Now, under normal circumstances, that testosterone will aromatase down into your estrogens, specifically your estrone and estradiol. Now, some things that can be causing testosterone to be low is, number one, you're not converting that DHEA down into testosterone, and we'll talk about why. And the other reason is that your testosterone is converting down into androgens. Now, they convert down into androgens in states of inflammation. So if you've got autoimmune conditions, you've got thyroid problems, you've got gut issues, if you've got these other issues going on, then you're going to have abnormal conversion. Now, how do we convert that DHEA down into testosterone? And then how does testosterone aromatase down into your estrogens? Because remember, if you go to most doctors and your testosterone is low, they just give you testosterone. If your estradiol is low, they just give you estradiol, right? The only women that I have struggled to balance their hormones out naturally without HRT are those that have had a full hysterectomy. If you have a decent functioning liver, you have good functioning adrenals, you've got your ovaries, there's no reason why we can't balance those out naturally. So again, liver function, some things you can do to support your liver. You have to reduce your alcohol intake and you've got to massively reduce your sugar intake. Those are the two things that affect your liver. Remember, hormone replacement therapy may be necessary, but one of the big concerns I have, and this is what I've seen over the years, is that a lot of doctors want to keep your hormone levels when you're in menopause in a cycling female range. This can be very dangerous because your body is now designed to have lower amounts of estrogens. Now, with a lot of you that are having symptoms, they're way too low. But again, we don't want to bring them back up to a cycling female range. That is going to negatively affect your physiology. It's going to increase things like breast cancer and other types of cancer. Now, liver health and adrenal health is the main thing we need to focus on. Doing a Dutch test will tell us exactly what all of those hormone pathways look like. Through blood, you just get a snapshot of what your hormone levels are the moment your blood was drawn. Looking at hormones through urine, we can see all of those pathways on one single test. And then me, as a health restoration doctor, that's going to help me naturally balance out those hormones. How do we get adrenal glands functioning normally? Well, first and foremost, I say you can never out-supplement a bad lifestyle. And so what is causing those high cortisol levels? Where is the stress coming from on your body? And most women only associate stress with emotional stress. See, there's also physical stresses and chemical stresses. Time and time again, I have women come in here and say, Doc, I don't have any stress. Husband's great. Kids are great. no financial issues. But when we do their testing, it says otherwise. It says, well, your body's still in a state of fight or flight. You still have very high cortisol, low DHEA, which is going to negatively affect progesterone, testosterone, and your estrogens. So we have to look on the inside, right? Do you have mold exposure, high viral load? Do you have heavy metals? Do you have gut infections, dysbiosis, food allergies, right? These things can massively affect stress on the body. Are you working out 2 hours every single day? Are you running, like a chicken with their head cut off? Are you just going? These are also going to cause stresses on the adrenal glands. And so again, we got to look at the body as a whole. We got to figure out why those hormones are out of balance. And then we can put you on a plan of action to get those balanced normally.